I'm Alonzo. Welcome to Chosen Few Expats and to your news around Panama. For those of you who are new to our channel, this is a session that we have where we review articles that's going on around Panama, the news, a lot of which will impact expats. So we haven't been able to cover a major story on the Panama Canal for the last few months because we've been so focused on the Panama mining protests. So now that those have died down, we're going to jump back onto a couple of stories dealing with the Panama Canal and the issue with the drought and the traffic restrictions there. But first, we'd like to invite you all to join our Chosen Few Expats community. We have a small, tight-knit community which you all can join. We have 23 frequently asked questions videos posted there, some general discussion. We're going to be having other articles posted there that we don't have time to cover in these nap sessions, as well as a look, into kind of what's going on with us day to day and other clips that are exclusive to that community that will not be shown on YouTube. So it's free. You can scan the QR code that is on your screen. If you want to join us, come check it out. Also, another reminder about our Panama relocation online course. If interested, we have over 50 instructional videos which take you step by step through making your smooth, efficient move to Panama. This is detailed information that you're going to need, much of which you don't see on YouTube. Step by step information on how to do a variety of things, everything from A to Z. So we encourage you all to enroll in our Panama relocation online course. If you want more information, you can go to our website, which is PanamaRelocationOnlineCourses.com. From there, you'll see the online course icon. You can click on that and you can put in your email information, and then we will reply with detailed information concerning our online course, including a video which takes you through the course description so that you can understand exactly what it is that you're going to be getting within that course. Again, it's a great investment for you, something that's going to definitely help you avoid costly mistakes. So again, our website, PanamaRelocationOnlineCourses.com. Also, a reminder that you can book your Zoom consultation with us if you want a personal consultation for 1 hour. You can book a Zoom consultation with us. Just send me an email at chosenfewexpats@gmail.com. Also, we do have merchandise on Shopify. You can shop our Shopify store. You can get great things like shirts like this. We have mugs and cups with this Panama logo on it, our Chosen Few Expats logo on it. A lot of good merchandise there. If you're interested, you can check out our store. You can click on any of the products below this video to click into our website on Shopify to check those out. So with that, is the future of the Panama Canal really in jeopardy? So we've seen a lot of reports here, about the drought. It's El Nino. It's causing the water levels to decrease, and the Panama Canal needs water in order to operate. So, in order to prevent, ships from basically hitting the bottoming out, Panama Canal has restricted traffic through the canal so that they can be more meticulous. And also they have restricted the draught, which is the distance from the surface of the water, the boat where it is at the surface of the water, to the bottom tip of the boat underneath the water. That normally is around 50 feet. They've had to drop that continually over the last several months as the water levels have decreased. So what this means is that the ships that are going through the canal, they can't load as much cargo onto the ship because, the ship is going to sink too low. So what this has resulted in, believe it or not, is companies paying as much as $4 million to skip the Panama Canal line. So I'll see if I can find an article for you on that. The last time that we talked about this, though, the largest was at 2 million or 2.4 million. Now $4 million the company has paid to skip the line at the Panama Canal. So a company paid $3.98 million in an auction, a Japanese company, Ineos Group, in an auction to secure their spot at the front of the line of the canal due to all of this traffic that you can see here on this graphic. So, it's a big issue that is causing a lot of problems. So you have $270 billion of the world's products that are flowing through this canal, and 40% of U.S. container traffic in addition to that. So what these delays are doing is causing issues, with inflation. But let me first get the article here for you, and here it is. World faces a $270 billion traffic jam in Panama. So here you have ships, it says, that are waiting for days to travel through the canal. What can be done to rescue the trade route? So there's a lot of speculation here that, Panama Canal's in trouble. There's climate change. These people are going to start looking for other travel routes that they can use, and they definitely are doing that. We're going to go into that here in a minute. But as you can see here, as I just mentioned, 40% of all U.S. container traffic alone goes through the canal. So some of what is happening now is some ships and some shipping companies are looking for alternative methods. Because also what is going to happen here is that you're going to get increased inflation. You have even the officials in Panama are warning of this. So let me get you the article here on that. And here it is. El Nino could cause inflation wave, importers warn. The delay of arrival of merchandise to the country, combined with government policy of placing obstacles on imports of food products, suggests a possible inflationary wave, at least during the first half of the year. So, they're warning even here in Panama about a potential increase in inflation due to this, when the products are literally already here. It's just like the logjam is still keeping some of the products from reaching some of the ports in a timely fashion. So that is having some impact here in Panama. But imagine how much impact this is going to have in the U.S., where the products still have to go through the canal and actually make it there, since 40% of U.S. container traffic goes through the canal. So, what then are the options? What are some of these companies looking at? And one thing you could do is you can sail all the way around the bottom of South America, Cape Horn, or you can sail around the bottom tip of Africa. All of these things add a lot of time. But people are still investigating these things and giving them some serious consideration nonetheless. So let's check out one thing that they're trying to do here. One thing that was proposed by some folks is to go through the Red Sea and the Suez Canal. But here is the issue with that. Security concerns in the Red Sea and Suez Canal force major shipping detours, impacting global trade. Leading shipping firms, several of which are listed there, have temporarily ceased transits through the Suez Canal following missile attacks by Houthi militants in the Red Sea. So this is one thing that people were kind of looking to try to pivot to, maybe try to go through the Suez Canal, but it doesn't appear to be a good option at this time, and maybe not for the foreseeable future, with all of the unrest that's going on over there.
Since the Israel-Hamas war began months ago, India's maritime trade is under direct threat. In just a matter of 2 days, 2 India-bound ships in the Red Sea came under attack, reportedly by Yemen-based Iran-backed Houthis. Yesterday, a cargo ship off the Gujarat coast with over 20 Indians on board was hit by a drone, reportedly from Iran. Less than 24 hours later, an oil tanker on its way to Mumbai was hit by a drone strike. An SOS was sent immediately to the U.S. naval ship patrolling the South Red Sea. They reported a near miss of a Houthi drone. Since October this year, ever since the war broke out, there have been as many as 15 attacks on commercial shipping by the Houthis.
So, with the canal, you do have a problem right now of a traffic jam, but the issue that you don't have is security concerns. So, what's the trade-off there? Because you can even go through the Suez Canal, even if there were no security concerns or no issues over there, it's still going to take a lot more time for your items to make it to the destination. So let's see if I can find an article here on that to kind of illustrate that for you. This is an article here, Panama Canal, jam sends ships sailing continents out of the way. So this is some of the same information here. That's saying that some of these shipping companies are looking for other options. And let's see what's being considered. Panama Canal jam spurs alternate ship routes. So here's your typical route in the black there. That's 20 days from Asia, say like from China, to the U.S. Gulf Coast. But if you're going to sail around the bottom tip of Africa there, Cape of Good Hope, 32 days. You go through the Suez Canal, that's 30 days. So if the Suez Canal isn't an option, and you have to sail around the Cape of Good Hope, that's 32 days. That's 12 more days that is going to take for your products to reach the destination if you choose to skip the canal. Now, that's 12 more days that you have to pay your crew, feed your crew. It's 12 more days of fuel, because and a lot more expensive in fuel because the Panama Canal, you're talking about a 50-mile stretch. How much longer is the distance to sail all the way around the southern tip of Africa? Quite a bit. So, these companies are in a tough spot right now. So one other option that's being tossed around here that the Mexican government is hopeful for, and I'll share this article with you here, is that they are basically have renovated a 100-year-old railway in hopes of stealing and rivaling the Panama Canal. So this is a route that would run across Mexico's narrowest point, which connects the Gulf of Mexico to the Pacific Ocean. So it's wider than the canal, but it's a train. It's not where ships can come through. They are hoping to be able to rival the Panama Canal. Now, keep in mind, Panama Canal revenue in 2022 was $4.3 billion. I'll show you a graph here shortly of the Panama Canal revenue over the last several years. But this is a $2.8 billion project that Mexico is investing, $2.8 billion. And so what shipping companies would have to do is come up to the Gulf Coast of Mexico, unload all of your cargo onto a train, send that across to the other side where you have to have another vessel waiting, an empty vessel waiting to load all of that cargo. So it's saying Mexico has spied its most significant opportunity. The government is bullish about the new rail routes prospects that it will offer proximity to U.S. and transit time of 6.5 hours, excluding loading time. So if you include the loading and unloading, that's going to increase the time by quite a bit. But, the canal takes 8 to 10 hours to traverse the canal, but you don't have to load or unload any cargo, and you don't need a second ship. So, it's very interesting here that Mexico is bullish on this. So let's see. The train route's capacity is another problem. Its maximum annual cargo capacity would be about 10.5% of the total amount of goods carried through the Panama Canal in 2022. So even at its maximum operation, if they're hoping to steal from the canal business, all they can get is 10.5% of that business because they themselves have stated that that's the capacity for this particular, train and method of transporting the goods. So is that really a threat to the canal? I don't know. You can decide. But in my opinion, I don't really see that as much of a threat. And also, the threat of going through the Suez Canal, as long as there's tension, the kind of tension that we're seeing in the Middle East right now, that, in my opinion, is also not a threat. And then you have, like I said, the option of sailing all the way around the southern tip of Africa. Company's going to have to pay a lot of money in order to do that. Because like I said, you're going to need a lot more fuel. You have to pay your crew for an extra 2 weeks, and it's going to cost you either way. So what's your best bet? Is your best bet to just wait in line at the canal, go through and see what happens, or try some of these other routes? So that's the decision that some of these companies are having to make. However, the situation at the canal is improving somewhat. So let's see if I can find you the article on that. So they're actually going to increase some of the traffic through the canal starting here this month in January. And here's the article. So while things were looking bleak in the November timeframe, Panama has now decided to increase the traffic in January to allow more ships to go through the canal. So as many as 24 vessels will be permitted to pass through the canal daily, up from 22. So it's a slight increase, but it's a step in the right direction. A powerful El Nino has reduced rainfall in the region, sapping the canal's water levels. The situation has forced shippers to decide whether to wait in line for days or weeks, or pay millions of dollars to jump ahead in the queue, or sail an entire continent out of the way around southern tips of Africa or South America. So rainfall here did drop to a record low in October, which caused a lot of issues in November, but it did rebound some since then. So they do, expect here after this dry season. So the dry season in Panama is going to last through probably late March, early April. So they're thinking after that, things may return somewhat to normal, because you have this El Nino phenomenon, which, something that doesn't really occur, all that much. I think it occurs something like every 2 to 7 years, or something like that. Let's see, is there information on that? Every 2 to 7 years. So I think the last time they saw that situation here was somewhere around 2017. No, I'm sorry, it's like 2018. They had a drought here also. It just wasn't quite this bad. So, this is not expected to be a situation that's ongoing forever. And even if it is, a lot of these shippers don't have a lot of other viable options, other than to wait. So the other thing I said I was going to share with you here, if I can put my hands on it quickly, is the Panama Canal revenue. Let's see if I can find it here. So as I mentioned, in 2022, the Panama Canal revenue was $4.3 billion. This graph here shows going back to 2014 up through 2021, where it approached just under $3 billion. So you can imagine here, this doesn't have 2022 on it. Another bar on this graph at 4.3 is going to be way up here in this range. So you can see the kind of, increase that they've been having here with the canal. And this is even through these COVID years, 2020 and 2021, is still increased, although slightly. And so what happened is back in 2016, right here, Panama opened up the new canal for the larger Neo-Panamax ships, these super huge shipping containers to be able to go through. which previously they could not. So that since then has caused the revenues to start going up, and it would have went up significantly in 2020 and 2021 if not for the pandemic. But you saw the big rebound in 2022 with the $4.3 billion in revenue. So that would even be going up higher if not for this El Nino. So the amount of money that they projected to lose from that is, they estimate, I think, about $500 million. So I haven't seen the numbers yet for the revenues for 2023, but if they lose $500 million down year on year from 2022, that would put the revenue still at $3.8 billion. Nothing to sneeze at. So there's also, Panama has, through these not fines, but through these tolls and these auctions that they've had, where these boats have been paying millions of dollars to get to the front of the line at the canal, they've almost made up for that just in those fees. They've earned some on the order of $380 something million from those tolls that these boats have been paying to try to skip to the front of the line. So they're kind of balancing it out. But in terms of answering the question, is the Panama Canal in jeopardy? Future of it? Based on this information, I would have to say no. Even if there is some reduced traffic through the canal, the revenues are still much higher than they were even 4, 5, 6 years ago. So you would stunt some of the growth of the canal if this were to continue. But, the bottom line is that all of these shippers and countries and people involved in trade, they need the canal, period. And that's it. So, even if it's operating at less than optimal, capacity, people are still going to need it and they're still going to use it. So, we're going to follow this video up with another video digging more into the numbers in terms of the economic impact, of this El Nino. How bad is it really? Is it really going to impact Panama's economy, like folks are saying, or not? So with that, I'd like you all to please subscribe and comment down below. Share the video if you like it. Please do enroll in our Panama Relocation online course. If you are interested, you can visit our website at PanamaRelocationOnlineCourses.com. And we will catch you all on the next video.